Living in Abbotsford, British Columbia versus Calgary, Alberta. Which one is the better choice? I'm that Agent Kelly. I talk about Canadian real estate investing in my local market here of Vancouver's metro area. If you get any value or entertainment from these videos, all that I ask you, thumbs up and subscribe. I post every Tuesday, Thursday, and Sunday. And I have tons of people reaching out to me through my Instagram, TikTok, and of course this channel. And if you would like to be one of those people, all you have to do is scroll down into the description, click on my Calendly link, and you can book yourself right into my calendar to have a chat with me. Stick around to the end of this video where I tell you which of the cities, regardless of everything in this video, I prefer. So without any further ado, let's get into this. Alright, so you're deciding which city you want to move to, and it's between Abbotsford and Calgary for some reason. And I think there's actually surprisingly probably a lot of people in this scenario right now. Maybe you live in Vancouver, Burnaby, maybe you have a variable rate mortgage that has gone up 40% in the last little bit and you need to move from that expensive area into a less expensive area. Maybe you're moving from Ontario. Currently right now, interprovincial migration numbers are out and it seems like everybody and their grandmother's moving to Alberta. Pretty much every province lost migrants except for Alberta, which gained like 19,000 people in Q3 or something ridiculous like that. Anyways, if you are one of these people that's thinking of this move, this video will help you. Let's start off with home prices. The average price of a detached home in Calgary as of November 2022 is $623,000. Average price of a townhome is $356,000 and the average price of a condo is $292,000. In Abbotsford, the average price of a detached home is $1,143,000. The average price of a townhome is $655,000 and the average price of a condo is $322,000. So as you can see, Abbotsford is basically double the price of Calgary aside from condos. So let's compare rents now. This is median pricing instead of average pricing. I could not find the average rents anywhere. Anyways, Calgary 1 beds is $1,563 a month. Calgary 2 beds, $1,650 a month. Calgary 3 beds, $2,293 a month, and Calgary 4 beds, $2,700 a month. Now let's take a look at the median rents in Abbotsford. 1 beds are $1,375 a month, quite a bit cheaper than Calgary for median rent for some reason. And I think there is a decent enough reason for this, which I'll get into after this. 2 beds in Abbotsford, $1,650 a month. 3 beds, $2,640 a month. 4 beds, $3,650 a month. So apparently it's cheaper to rent a condo in Abbotsford than it is to rent one in Calgary. And my best guess is that Calgary's a metropolitan city. So if you're renting a condo in the dense area of Calgary's city center, which Abbotsford doesn't have, the rents there are likely going to be higher because you get to experience all the amenities within a walkable distance. As well, a lot of the condo stock in Abbotsford is older 70s, 80s, and 90s condos. A lot of the existing inventory is not built within the last 15 years. Cost of living. Now, I'm not going to break down the cost of living item by item because we will be here all day, but I'll just cover the important stuff. Obviously, housing and rent and all of those things are cheaper in Calgary, but you know what else is cheaper is gas. Gas is about 24% cheaper in Calgary as well. They do not have provincial sales tax in Calgary. I think Alberta is the only province in Canada that doesn't have this, so people who live in Calgary are going to save 7% on pretty much everything they buy without having to pay that PST. Now, for some reason, the average household income in Abbotsford is the median household income in Abbotsford is $72,000 in comparison to $99,000 in Calgary. Now, I am shocked at this, that apparently people in Abbotsford make less money than people in Calgary. I searched far and wide to find differentiating data, and this was the most common that I found. So apparently people in Calgary make more money and they pay less for all of their stuff as well. But even on the best case scenario, let's just say people in Abbotsford make the same amount as the people in Calgary. People in Calgary still pay less for just about everything. So I'm gonna give this one to Calgary no matter which way you look at it. All right, what do these cities have to offer? What is the quality of life like? Calgary is a very well-maintained city. It was actually cited to be one of the cleanest cities in the world and won an award for that back in 2007 and 2014. It also has very minimal air pollution and a really well-greased and oiled recycling program. Abbotsford, on the other hand, I wouldn't say that it's well-maintained and cleaned, and I wouldn't say the exact opposite. I would say, of the two choices, it's somewhere in the middle. So I'd rank Abbotsford pretty average in that regard, meaning that Calgary is going to get the pro on this one as well. Calgary has a very scenic downtown core, so if you love that vibrant kind of city living, you know, at nighttime you look out and you see all the lights from all the high rises and all that stuff, Calgary is amazing for that. Abbotsford, you get mountain views, and if you're willing to pay $2 million to live up on Eagle Mountain, you're going to have a view of the entire Fraser Valley, which is coincidentally my favorite view that I know of currently right now, at least out in Vancouver's metro. I prefer that even over the British properties in West Vancouver where homes are $20 million. But I would say this really comes down to a personal preference between the two, so that's a wash, let's just say. Calgary has a super quiet downtown core after 5 p.m., which is really unordinary for a metropolitan city like this one. Now, this could be a pro or con depending how old you are and the type of lifestyle you want to live. If you want to go out and get smashed with your friends every other night and just, you love the activity and the uproar, like, New York, the city that never sleeps, then this is probably a con for you. But if you just, want to watch TV with your girlfriend and look out at the beautiful scenic views, then, this is going to be a pro for you. So it really depends. Abbotsford, of course, is quiet all the time. In fact, Abbotsford's motto is the city in the country. The only time that Abbotsford is ever really noisy is between 3 to 5 on weekdays during rush hour. And even then, there's no real traffic. You're just kind of sitting at lights you don't normally sit at. So again, I'm going to call this one a wash. The weather, now this is the most important differentiating factor between these cities. Calgary gets the most sun in Canada at 333 days per year on average, which means there's only 33 days a year where it apparently isn't sunny in Calgary. Abbotsford, on the other hand, gets 285 days of sun, and I honestly think that they're lying because I live here and it feels like we only get 140 days of sun, but if you were to choose to listen between me and the statistics, I would listen to the statistics. To me personally, it does not feel like we get that much sun here, but apparently we do. Abbotsford is one of the rainiest cities in Canada, averaging 1,453 millimeters of rain per year versus Calgary's 425 millimeters of rain per year. So far, Calgary seems like the place to be. However, during the winter months, Abbotsford averages about 3 degrees per day, and winter only lasts for about 3 months versus Calgary where it's like -10 most of the time, and the winter months last 6 months long. So although you get more sun and less rain in Calgary, the winters are much more harsh and last much longer. Not only that, actually they last about double as long as what it would in Abbotsford, but not only that, the weather patterns there are super erratic. One day it could be like 8 degrees, and then literally 16 hours later the next day it could be -14 with blizzarding winds. So something to take into account there. The weather is super sporadic in Calgary. Comparing the amenities between the two, Calgary has decent options for nightlife. Hip-hop bars, country bars, other bars where people are taking off their clothes. As well, they have the Calgary Stampede, which is a country music festival that comes there every year that sounds like a lot of fun. I've never been, and nor am I a country guy, but I would go because I've seen the videos and it looks like a pretty sweet time. Abbotsford, on the other hand, has one town hall, which is basically a pub where they, take away all the dining tables at night to open up a dance floor, and that's it. That's all Abbotsford has is the town hall. If you want any real nightlife, you have to Uber an hour away to downtown Vancouver, which costs a fortune, or book a hotel for the night. So Calgary wins here for nightlife. So Calgary, unfortunately, doesn't have much recreation close by. Anything that you can do kind of outdoorsy, you kind of have to travel to. Where in Abbotsford, we have camping, hunting, fishing, hiking, literally 15-20 minutes away. It's all there for you. Not only that, Calgary doesn't have any oceans or beaches that I know of. Abbotsford has a man-made lake right within the city. Not only that, if you were too good for that man-made lake and you wanted the real thing, we have White Rock Beach, which is 45 minutes away. Beautiful beach with a lovely long pier, tons of amazing restaurants, shops, and stuff to do along that pier. So we have that one over Calgary. How safe are these two cities? Calgary is actually incredibly safe, the safest I've seen since doing my research on Canadian cities. They have a very high police presence within the city, and they score a 37 on the crime index, which you want to be a lower number out of 100. You want to be a lower number on that one. On the safety index, you actually want to be a higher number. 37 is really low, the lowest I've seen. And on the safety index, Calgary scores a 63, which is a very good number on the safety index. Calgary actually scores an 84 for walking alone during the day, which means you are incredibly safe to wander amongst Calgary streets during the day. On the downside to how safe Calgary is, they have photo radar, meaning there doesn't actually have to be a physical cop to pull you over and give you a speeding ticket. You can just get them in the mail. If somebody takes a pic, if one of these photo radars takes a picture of you speeding, you're done. And I'm guessing that this is how they pay for their very high police presence. Abbotsford scores significantly higher on the crime index at a 55.37. So we're about 17 points more crime in Abbotsford than we are in Calgary. Not only that, Abbotsford puts up a 44.37 on the safety index, meaning we are about 18 points less safe than Calgary. Now, I've lived in Abbotsford for about 5 years. I've never felt unsafe here at any point. However, my car has been broken into a few times now, and there is homelessness and people doing drugs and stuff like that in certain parts of the city, and that's why that score is the way. However, for some reason, if you're walking alone at night, on the safety index, Abbotsford scores a 25, which is like crazy low. Like, we might as well be Inglewood, California, or Compton, or whatever. I've never felt this, but that's what the numbers say. Whereas in Calgary, it's a 57. So you're twice as safe in Calgary to walk alone at night, apparently, according to these statistics. So Calgary wins here. So here's something that I've always loved about Calgary. Calgary has an awesome sports culture. Everyone there loves the Flames. Everybody there supports the Flames. Everybody there has that in common. So there's one thing that that city has that brings everybody together and kind of builds that community. I've lived in Vancouver's metro area my entire life, and I can say we have an awful fan base and an awful sports culture. Everybody hates the Canucks until they get into the playoffs and they're doing decent, and then they love the Canucks, and then when they lose in the finals, we riot and burn down the city. In Vancouver, or Vancouver's metro area, or Abbotsford, whatever you want to call it, we don't really have that one thing that Calgary has that kind of brings everybody together. So Calgary wins there too, I guess. Personal vehicle transportation. So one thing that I and many others don't like about Abbotsford is the fact that if you want to leave Abbotsford and go out west towards Vancouver, the traffic 9 out of 10 times is awful. Sometimes you will sit in 2 to 3 hours of traffic depending on the accidents that have happened or whatever's happened during that day, snow, rain, whatever it might be. Now, there's no actually traffic within Abbotsford, which is nice. Calgary, on the other hand, there isn't very much traffic within the city, but not only that, if you wanted to leave the city, there isn't a lot of traffic. And if you wanted to get from one end of Calgary to the other end, there's actually a road that goes around the entire circumference of the city called Ring Road, meaning you just jump out of Calgary, don't have to deal with any streetlights or nothing, jump onto this highway, this Ring Road, and go all the way around Calgary to the other side, boom, done deal. So that's amazing that they have that. So Calgary's gonna win this one too. So all in all, I've recorded this video 3 times now because I kept screwing everything up. That's why I'm talking so fast, because I'm pretty pissed off right now. But all in all, Calgary wins on the pros and cons. However, I could not live somewhere where the temperature could potentially be negative 35 degrees outside. That's just me personally. That's how cold it can get in Calgary, is negative 35 degrees. And I don't want to live somewhere where the weather could potentially kill me. Like if I'm driving somewhere in a rural area and my phone doesn't have service or it dies, and then my car dies and nobody comes to help me, I'm dead. You're gonna die. I don't wanna live somewhere where 6 months of the year, the weather could potentially kill me. Now, this is just my personal opinion. 100% Calgary wins on the quality of life index. Calgary, without a doubt, everything is cheaper. You get paid more to live there. Housing's cheaper, rent is cheaper, you name it, right? And it's actually a really dope city too. The quality of life wins, hands down. But the weather, man, the weather, I couldn't do it. And so could so many other people. And that's why the cost of housing here is twice as much as it is in Calgary. So anyways, if you enjoyed this video, you got any value and entertainment from it, thumbs up, like, subscribe. Not only that, if you're thinking about moving to Calgary or Abbotsford, I would love to hear from you. I've got a lot of resources in Calgary that can help you out. And I myself practice my business of real estate here in Abbotsford, Surrey, in the Fraser Valley, and I would love to hear from you and help you out. Tons of people reaching out to me every day. Again, scroll down, you can book yourself into my Calendly link right there. And again, thanks for tuning in, guys. Peace.